children, was the occupation you dreamed of having as an adult one that would be classified as a job or one that would be classified as a career? You wanted to be a doctor, maybe a firefighter, or perhaps a lawyer? No matter what you wanted to be, I'm sure that many of you would say that your dream occupation was one that would be classified as a career. And as most of us know, it takes an exemplary academic background to reach a career as opposed to just reaching a job. It takes education, the tool that equips us with all that is needed to make our dreams come true. What opens the doors to brilliant opportunities and fetches better prospects for success and growth. What leads us to enlightenment. The journey that ultimately defines who we are and will define who we will become. Education, the underlying factor that shapes our entire lives. And yet, despite education's extreme importance in our lives, it seems as if our country is continuing to fall more and more behind. Consider this. 5. A value that represents the top countries leading the world in terms of education. Singapore, Taiwan, Japan, China, and Sweden. Notice that the United States is completely out of the educational running when it comes to these countries. 9. The amount of seconds that elapses between one American student dropping out of school and another making the same foolish mistake. 20. The percentage of Americans that are considered functionally illiterate and read below a 7th grade level. 35. America's ranking in mathematics and science in the year 2006. And by the way, that ranking was out of 57 countries, which means 22 were vastly ahead of us in math and science. And 6,277,000. The amount of Americans ages 18 to 24 that had not graduated from high school and were unemployed in the year 2004. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought we were America. I thought we were the country of success, of achievement, of growth. And yet, it seems as if our country can't even begin to compete with other countries academically. America, what's really going on? These statistics that I just presented to you, along with many others, should be evidence enough to serve as a major wake-up call to our country. Our ability to compete in a global economy depends on our ability to educate students in a way that will make a lasting impact on our future. And if the United States continues to not perform well in the global educational rankings, our country's foundation may collapse, despite all of the hard work that was instilled into its construction. America, it's time to wake up. It's time to realize that our futures are in our own hands. It's time to crack down and hit the books. It's time to fiercely compete in the global educational race. It's time to reinvent America through education reformation. Thank you. Woo!
American educational system as the principal reason for the imminent collapse of America's status as a global superpower. Our current system is at a standstill. While our technology has been increasing at lightning speeds over the last century, in the area of education, our school systems are still at ground zero. For example, 100 years ago, cars were made on an assembly line with human hands. Now that was sufficient for those times, but became unacceptable in order for our industry to advance. As we speak, the automobile industry is employing robotics to produce today's intelligent cars. To the contrary, over the same time span of 100 years, teachers still stand in front of the classroom is aware of its shortcomings, yet unresponsive to these inadequacies and resistant to constructive change. Consequently, he believes our system of education is headed down the same path of destruction as our economy, which was built on faulty principles by greedy people to take advantage of an unsuspecting employee, and consumer base, which was overloaded by the infrastructure and caused the market to crash hard. His final assessment is that American education's implosion is unfortunately inevitable. When responsible stakeholders that know that a grave problem exists and still turn a blind eye to this crisis, the fire brewing only turns into a blaze and the building burns. This is a kind of negligence that we must either own now or accept as a passport to ruin. So who's to blame? Well, the teachers think that it's the students. They think that we lack the drive and ambition needed to seek a solid education that would prepare us to be competitive on the global field, and that our pants on the ground mentality is most probably going to keep us from reaching the sky.
Nice. Woo!
On the other hand is the student's perspective. Students say that the guilt should be placed on the school districts for hiring and keeping teachers who are just unsuitable for their positions, just in line for the check, have no passion for teaching, no calling to mold kids, and quite frankly, need to pull their pants up too, and adhere to the sport of adults and professional dress code themselves.
Woo! Go ahead.
Now the schools, they pass the buck and cry inefficient money distribution. Their argument is that the real money is earmarked for the elite schools, and because their poor little schools lack proper funding, their ability to provide a quality education is inhibited. Meanwhile, almost every year, a mediocre school district here or there, or somewhere across the nation, seems to find itself in the news for a misappropriation of funds that was apparently redistributed for office or home furniture in the tune of several $100,000. Expensive vacations, or redistributed to a supplier who happens to be a relative, such as a cousin or a girlfriend. Now that leaves the parents, and you know that they're not taking the blame. This group drops a whole bunch on the on the schools. They say that the teachers don't care. They demand a new principal right now. The books are not up to par. Too much money is dumped into sports programs rather than academic programs.
That's true.
While all the while, they're buying little Jimmy $200 tennis shoes, but refuse to pay a tutor a dime on their money. Not to mention, we never hear from the local parents until we do a survey or until their child gets into trouble at school. And the irony of it all is that these parents complain about the school's misguided focus, and at the same time, they're packing out the gym or the stadium on game night, but are noticeably MIA at the PTA.
Woo! Come on, Angel.
In reality, everyone is to blame. We are all 100% accountable. Students, we need to get real. If you're not 6'9", and if you don't shoot 500 jump shots a day, or if you're not 5'9" and gorgeous like Kamora Lee, if you can't sing like Celine Dion, then if you don't have both the physical skill and the gritty dedication to make it to the celebrity realm, then your chances of making a living on TV are like a gazillion to 1. So wake up, get your head out of the sky, and keep a book in front of it. For the 99% of us, education is the key to securing a strong profession. So we either need to pick up a book or pick up a broom, because India, China, and Japan have already sent the memo to all American students. They're coming to take our jobs, and they don't think we're smart enough to stop them. in an effort to cause them to thirst and hunger for learning again. Administrators, parents, and politicians, you need to sober up too. You receive the memo from the world. They say that you are too greedy, lazy, and short-sighted to stop this Titanic and turn it around. If you don't take responsibility of